Hello and welcome to my field in beautiful rural Ireland. No, wrong person, wrong show, wrong day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red for Anfield Index. It is Sunday, the 22nd of June. Only officially about a week or so then till this season finishes, because it is still 24-25 until the 1st of July, then 25-26 starts. But Liverpool are gearing up for next season, aren't they, ladies and gents? Messrs Edwards, Ward and Hughes are very busy right now as we speak. Transfers in, transfers out, various deals going through, potentially, it's important to say. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from a pretty humid Edinburgh. Got to be honest, just doing a park run on Sunday morning with my wee lad, and that was good fun. But yeah, a bit tuckered out after all that, and I could have done with it being cooler. So we'll see what the day brings. Hopefully, it is nice wherever you are at the same time. And let's get into it, ladies and gents. What are the latest Liverpool stories on the docket? Which probably brings itself to what are the players we're linked with? Who might be coming in? Who might be going out? What might we be talking about? So let's get into it straight away. And I'm looking on the screen and I'm seeing a mix of players. I'm seeing a picture of Victor Osimhen in a high-profile swap. We're going to have to talk about that one. I'm seeing Quansah. Well, we're going to have to talk about him, definitely. I'm seeing Marc Guehi on the screen. Yeah, 100%. He's got to be the talking points, and probably that whole central defensive area. Marmadashvili. You almost forget he's coming this summer at times, don't you? And as I'm saying this, congratulations to Cleveland Kelleher. I think he posted on his socials, be it Instagram or whatever, that him and his girlfriend are set to get married now as a fiance. So congratulations there. And a picture of the great man Jurgen Klopp, who will keep this one short, ladies and gents, but said how good it is for Liverpool to have got Florian Wirtz. And you always wonder about this, and it's all sliding doors, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I do wonder behind closed doors whether Jurgen Klopp is a little bit, well, this bastard's never spent the money when I was in charge. Maybe he's not, he probably isn't, but who knows realistically. So let's get into it, ladies and gents. What are the big headlines from yesterday stepping into Sunday morning as we speak? Well, probably as Liverpool website led with, there's congratulations for certain players. Congratulations to Mo Salah, who now celebrates his 8th anniversary with Liverpool. 8 years to the day since the Egyptian king, the demigod himself, signed for us, and how we all rejoice over that. But some of his younger compatriots were playing for England last night, weren't they? England under 21s were successful, as it says there. They are now in the semi-finals of the tournament, having overcome Spain 3-1 last night. And 3 of our players were there. 3 of our current players, maybe it's important to phrase it that way, were all playing, weren't they? Quansah, Tyler Morton, Harvey Elliott, all in the starting lineup. And I didn't watch all of this, so I don't want to fib to you at all. But having watched the highlights, maybe it's pushing it to say that Quansah gets an assist, but it's his slalom run that is, parried by the keeper of a good shot, and Harvey Elliott taps in the rebound. So Harvey Elliott on the score sheet. Let's sod it. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's say Quansah got an assist there as well. Also, from the highlights, thought Tyler Morton had a great game. Just seemed to be, again, from the highlights, so I'm saying that, controlling the tempo there and having a real impact on helping England during the game. And they now will see them play on Wednesday. Well, we're lying a bit there. We'll see at least 2 of them play on Wednesday, because Tyler Morton picked up a yellow card, apparently, so he is suspended from the semi-final. But, again, sometimes football can be ruthless, even in the nicest moments. Probably like me, many are thinking, well, that won't hurt with the price tags, will it? Harvey Elliott scoring in a Euro under-21 quarter-final. And before people just dismiss that, you don't forget that Jack Grealish did quite well in the under-21 tournaments. They didn't hurt his price tag at all, did it? Jarell Quansah, I think we know where he's going. But Tyler Morton, even if now it is 10 million or so, which I think it will be for Tyler Morton, you'd think Harvey somewhere around the 40 mark. These types of tournaments or these types of things, just, they don't hurt the process, do they, by any means? So, yeah, we'll see how they get on next week. They are still playing tournament football, and all three players are pretty fresh because they didn't really play this season either, did they? So positive for them. Now, Jarell Quansah is really the talking point, isn't he? He's one of the top articles here. As it says in Anfield Index, his medical is to be delayed. And Fabrizio Romano, after yesterday's Daily Red, tweeted that they're in contact, Liverpool by Leverkusen to get that deal done, finalised. And even this morning, there's reports from the German side, Kicker had it, didn't they, that is now all agreed between the two clubs. We're still waiting for any confirmation on the Patch Journo side, the UK journos. And we'd expect that because Ornstein dropped his bomb about Thursday, I think, wasn't it? That it's close, around 40 million or just over euros, which translates to around 34 million quid, around that mark. But as we know, there will be a differential in the reporting on the German side and a differential in how it's reported by the Patch journos, the UK journos. So we'll see. But everyone's fully expecting this to happen. It's maybe just in terms of business been delayed because of England being successful. And if there was any doubts, ladies and gents, it's only a 6 or 7 second clip. But let's just have a look at this geezer getting his laughing gear around some half time. Quiet, eating that big with sauce. Enjoying himself there. May or may not recognise the face, but as it says on the screen, Simon Roffler's director of Bayer Leverkusen. Do you remember that guy we talked about yesterday? The one who released the goodbye message to Florian Wirtz on LinkedIn? The same guy. He's at the England, or was at the England v Spain under-21 game last night. There's only one reason he's there. Yeah, he was hoping, from his point of view, that it would be done and dusted, that he would be welcoming Jarell Quansah as a Bayer Leverkusen player or set to be. But it's just been delayed. That's all it is. And I get it. I like Jarell Quansah as a player. I think it's important to say, I think he's got potential. I know that's very vague. I think almost last season compared to this season, he has taken a step back, and that's natural in development of young centre-halves. It's never just a linear journey. Centre-halves naturally tend to get better with age as they bring experience, start to read the game and those types of things. But considering the guy started the opening game but was hauled off against Ipswich, the fact that it's just over 700 odd minutes in the Premier League and Champions League, I honestly think this is a sensational move for Jarell Quansah. It's also, if Liverpool don't fancy him, great money in the bank as well, about 34 million quid. And I'm not going to ever pretend the PSR thing is my greatest excitement, but it's booked as pure profit that way, isn't it, as well, which could help with other moves, the figures, etc. So it's delayed. We're going to get it next week at some point. We're all just waiting for Jarell Quansah to head with our best wishes to Bayer Leverkusen. And for his replacement, ladies and gents, there's a maybe around this one, isn't there? So that's that photo. As the reports came out last night, Marc Guehi may be prepared to wait and even leave Crystal Palace on a free transfer. Those are the reports from The Guardian and the Mail I saw. So there are various reports around this and talks suggestions in those articles that he wants guarantees over first team football and minutes because there's a World Cup next summer. He's expecting to be there, hoping to be there. So he wants that guarantee and is even prepared to stay at Crystal Palace, run it down on a free and go from there. Those were the stories last night. Couple of things to say on this, really, really importantly. So this is out this morning from Paul Gorst at Liverpool Echo. Couple of things that you can look up the article if you want, but just a couple of lines I just want to bring you from that. As the Echo reported on Friday, the priority for the Reds is a young centre-back with a high ceiling once Quansah departs. Now, Lewis Steele said that both on his own video on his YouTube channel and on Media Matters to us at the same time. That is the line that Liverpool are consistently briefing at the moment. They are looking at centre-back, but it's a young one with a high ceiling that could eventually replace Virgil van Dijk. So we've got to keep that in the thought process right now. You've got to keep that in the mix. However, second line to bring you from this is the one. It was stressed to the Echo this week that the Reds recruitment department, while proactive and aggressive in their pursuits of Frimpong, Wirtz and now Kirkes, would be happy to bide their time over the England international. It feels like the game is afoot now, doesn't it? Between Palace, Guehi, Liverpool and the other suitors. We're starting to unravel this a bit, or maybe we're just into the weeds a little bit, but people are putting out articles, suggestions. I think we all know where they're coming from. They're tough negotiators, Liverpool, of course, but Steve Parish at the same time as well. This is all just part of the game. And the other thing to really mention, which is also in this article, the Echo has been informed that Guehi would jump at the opportunity to move to Anfield if the opportunity arose. But reports to national media over the weekend said he's relaxed about the situation and is prepared to stay with the FA Cup winners for one final term before leaving as a free agent. Important that. Marc Guehi, as he's proven before, in terms of character we know about, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, religious approach, leadership, all the things you hear about Marc Guehi are positive, aren't they, on a character reference? Steve Parish has talked about him, waxed lyrical about him. He is not going to rock the boat on this one at all. I think what's clear is, like many other players right now, what have Isak, Wirtz, Kirkes, Frimpong, Guehi now got in common? They all want to play for the Reds. Now, some have achieved that. Some are Reds players. Some may not achieve that, you suspect, especially when we talk about Isak, which we'll come on to. Marc Guehi, I believe, wants to be a Liverpool player, but he's not going to rock the boat. He's never going to have a transfer request or anything like that. That isn't the way he works. And I understand that. He's got that loyalty to Crystal Palace. So it's now a case of, are we going to push for him? Are we going to, to me, if I'm being honest right now, it feels like this will happen, but we've probably got something like 30 million in mind. Palace have got 50 million in mind, or maybe a bit higher for us, you could say. Where do we meet? And there's England tax that comes into the mix. I still think I could see a deal getting done somewhere around 40, 45 million. Just personal belief. We will see what unfolds this week. And Vinicio makes an interesting point there. I think we're still waiting on the full situation, aren't we, with the John Textor situation in Palace? I think he's still trying to sell that share. But if UEFA ban Palace, will that influence Guehi? I don't know. I really don't know. I do think, as simple as I can make it, Marc Guehi wants to play for Liverpool. Marc Guehi will not rock the boat. That is not the character he has at all. And that's why the reports are also coming out that he would play another year. And I think that would be, personally, even if it's without the European football. But we will have to see what develops on that one. If it is Marc Guehi, though, and it is a collective of, we can only work on this basis, Van Dijk, Konate, Guehi and Gomez, I think that's a full great centre-half collection, personally. I really do. In terms of, you look at Guehi, he is a progressive passer. he can play fullback. He can also play DM. He has got that leadership experience, good character. You know, he's played at international in tournaments. Yeah. I still think this will get done. I still don't think Palace will want to, lose him on a free. I also have the feeling, I could be wrong on this, that behind the scenes, you almost feel that Parish said to him, no, stick around for one more season. We'll see what it brings. And he maybe gave it. Yeah. Parish is also a shrewd businessman. And people will see it differently. Ginger Lime saying there, Guehi will bench Konate. Now, I'm not so sure about that. And this is something that came out yesterday. Paul Gore's talked about it, about Ibu Konate specifically, and said, I don't think he'll leave this summer. I think Liverpool will look to take a little bit of a Van Dijk Salah chance on tying him down during the season. He seems very happy and settled at Liverpool. And he talked about, the mix zone that Lewis Steele mentioned and different bits. To me, there's a couple of things that are factual on this. Ibu Konate is a better centre-half than Marc Guehi. They're slightly different in the way they play, I get that. But just as a pure defender, he's stronger in the air, he's quicker, he has played at Champions League, and that level. I do think he's a better centre-half, he's quicker than Marc Guehi. I am now, and I've said this before, so I'm not changing it around at all. I am all aboard that Ibu stays next season, Trade, even if, and it's clear that PSG's turned his head somewhat. Real Madrid have been in his ear on the free. We know all this. There's no doubts around it. I am honestly all in on, even if it's staying, even if it has to be on a free, all in on him staying and trying the Van Dijk situation, the Salah, and it might even be another player who's left situation. But for what Liverpool want to do, for what Liverpool could realistically do, I think you keep Ibu. I really do. Not many are agreeing with that. Or there's a mix in the chat panel, shall we say. But I just think that we spent all that effort as well to get him to, around 3,500 minutes around all competitions. And I understand the argument where people say, no, you've got to sell him, you've got to draw that line in the sand. But bear this in mind for Ibu. You're only going to get a low ball offer. And by the way, people talk about PSG, Real Madrid. Well, Real Madrid got Huijsen, so they ain't desperate for a centre-half. They're looking on a free. PSG, they've made a new offer as per yesterday for Zabayani, isn't it? The Bournemouth boy. So what are they realistically, if they come in, going to offer? I even think they might be looking now and possibly saying freebie. So even if Marc Guehi comes, and I think he will, I'm all in on Ibu staying, even if it is a free transfer. But again, we'll have to see what develops with that one. But those are the quotes from Paul Gorst yesterday. Looking a bit higher up the pitch as well, ladies and gents, I suppose it's right to talk about the man in the main picture there. As the headline says, Liverpool plot the ambitious swap deal for Osimhen interest that grows the Napoli striker amid Nunes and Chiesa links. Liverpool are considering that move. Now, I mean, there's so many things that come into the mix on the striker hunt right now. Said this repeatedly. I think a lot of this is just known. Alexander Isak is Liverpool's main dream target. They're trying for him. I think many others will predict they ultimately fall short. So then they start working down the list as well. So then they start going, who can we get? Julian Alvarez seems dead. Love that to be true. I actually, personally, as I said, prefer Alvarez over him. But that one, Victor Osimhen might be one of those that the opportunity, it's that famous word opportunistic, isn't it? The situation presents itself. So maybe, just maybe, it's the right move at the right time. Some may debate that, but a few of you are just telling me, because I've just been talking about Jarell Quansah. So Chong Felipe's put there that there is a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. So I tell you what, Chong, I have no idea who you are, mate. But if I load this page up and it's not a here we go, we are going to have words, mate. I will find you like Liam Neeson. I will find you. There it is. Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen. Here we go. Deal agreed for 30 million initial fee plus 5 million in add-ons. So a third, which is pretty much what David Ornstein said as well. Now, that's what a bit that is. Exclusive detail, Liverpool will have a buyback clause for Quansah to keep future control of the player. I think that is brilliant business, honestly, because a lot of you will have said, and a lot of you have mentioned even in the chat panel, you think Quansah could be something special and we're making a mistake. Well, we've covered ourselves now, haven't we? Obviously, there's no detail of what that buyback clause is, but there's the Fabrizio Romano bomber, Jarell Quansah, a 35 million deal, 30 million initial fee, plus 5 million in add-ons. I think that is absolutely brilliant business. Now, check it, just because a few of you said that, but I can't see it. No, there's nothing on David Ornstein right now, but no reason to doubt Fabrizio Romano. We all knew it was coming. It was just a web. There you go. Bombers on a Sunday morning, ladies and gents. Back to the strikers, eh? Because that was the headline, as I said, Victor Osimhen. Now, Victor Osimhen is, I always think it's good to get these bits out the way early doors for reality. He's 26 years old right now. He'll be 27 in December. So it's absolute now or never. He's usually a bit older than FSG would plump for. AFCON comes into the mix. You look at his injury record as well. Muscle comes up a few times. I look at it overall. I think people exaggerate it because people talk about like a broken cheekbone, for instance. But it's not disastrous this season. And at the same time, as a few people have flagged, yes, there's a few injuries there, 23, 24. There's a number of games missed. However, he was in a row with De Laurentiis, I think it's pronounced, and Napoli and all that situation comes into the mix as well. So it's always hard to get it right with this. And other people will flag as well. So we want to bring this to the table. Liverpool, the no dickheads policy. Does he fit that? Hard to say, isn't it? But what isn't hard to say about Victor Osimhen is he has a record of goals. And I know it's in the Turkish league this season, but the Turkish league, the Super League are there, and Europa, you're looking and you're seeing 32 goals, 6 assists. Still hitting top speed, and still it's important to remember it was close in January when Darwin looked like he was on his way before Liverpool pulled the plug on that Saudi move, and Osimhen was going to move from Galatasaray to us. Yeah. I just, do I think this is likely? No. Would I discount it right now? No. Because Liverpool will be aware of opportunities that are in the market. I generally, as I say, I can't change that. I still think it lands on Hugo Ekitike in terms of practicality. But the story, importantly, related to a swap. Now, this is important to say. Romano tweeted this one. I brought up the wrong one, actually. There it is. Darwin Núñez remains Napoli's priority and dream target as a central striker. The club won't advance or close on different options until they've a chance to get Núñez. Talks will continue next week to understand how his transfer fee and the salary can be feasible. So Konate De Laurentiis clearly want Darwin Núñez. Sounds like the same language for us as he's at, doesn't he? He's their dream target. So then it comes down to how much we're prepared to pay. What can we put in the deal? And they can be nightmare negotiators, Napoli, as we know at the same time, and De Laurentiis. This would be a super tough deal to do. And I mean, it all seems to have gone quiet with Darwin a little bit, doesn't it? But how much do they, Napoli, for your dream target, how much to value your dream at? So when you only got 6 goals across the Champions League and the Premier League last season, how much? Chiesa, linked as well, we know wants to return to Italy. I mean, this is going to sound cruel. I love the Chiesa tune, but I think if someone gave us our 10 million quid back, I think we'd bite their hands off. I really do. As we said before at Anfield Index, all the info seems to be, unfortunately, that it's loan offers, and loan offers with options rather than obligations. So with all that being said, ladies and gents, I'm not sure this is a bad deal. Liverpool need to win now as well. Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, they're all in 2 years left. And as it stands right now, for me, Osimhen is a different player. I get it. He's not sort of a run the channel. He's a box merchant, isn't he? He's a bag merchant, as they say. But Osimhen is above Ekitike right now. When you start working down your list and you go Isak, Alvarez, from what I'm hearing, I would put Osimhen above Ekitike. That's just it, personally, for me. It's about goals. I'm not worried too much about chances because we've got Mo Salah, we got Florian Wirtz. We are going to create chances galore. Now, they will score anyway, but you want someone else to be ragging in the goals. Honestly, and for the price and everything in there, for me, I do not mind this option at all. Although, again, do I think it's likely? No, I don't see that for 1 second. But we'll see if anything does develop around this. Other little bits as well, just to call out. He is a sound lad, Jeremy Frimpong, and he was talking in his interview with ESPN. He talked about how he's looking forward to playing with Flo, as he calls him, my good mate, and how he's looking forward to being at Liverpool. You'll be able to find these quotes various places, how much he enjoyed chatting to Arne Slot, and he's excited. So just a quote that's on the screen there from the AI website. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to playing with Liverpool. And of course, Florian Wirtz, my good friend, he's coming too. That makes it extra fun. So yeah, I'm really up for it. I can't wait for it to start. I'm excited for him to come. I really am. I think he'll be a character, whether he'll start, how many minutes he'll play, all that. But sounds strange. Also, the thing I'm happiest about, it'll help Wirtz settle, won't it? Of course it will. So that comes into the mix at the same time. And shout out to Frimpong because he's doing various, I don't know what you call them, but in my words, football clinics around the UK where he's helping kids who sort of fallen out of the academy system, that 15 to 22-year-olds sort of have a shot and a showpiece to put themselves back in the window. Like him, as he's saying, those who didn't have the standard academy journey, he wants to give them a chance. So fair play. He's actually in Manchester today. I only know a couple of lads that are going down to this, trying to grab autographs and things like that. But fair play to the lad for doing this. What else have we got for you AI-wise? I mean, Christ, we are all over it for you as a team, even in the last 24 hours for you people. Me and Trev's Europe part. And we're doing the transfer show again tomorrow because there's that much going on. Aaron and Jack talked about Kirkez. Me and Lewis Steele, as I say, based on the Guehi, the incomings, the outgoings. Also the final part where we talked about off-the-field business, the 3 installments with Lewis Steele there. And the final parts of Aaron and Jack talking about Kirkez, Pesci, even Szoboszlai, and that element at the same time as well. 1,000,001 things for you, isn't there? There really is. You are spoiled for choice. Whether it's articles, whether it's YouTube, plenty there for you. But if you did join late, ladies and gents, literally, what was it? 15 minutes ago or so, This was the bomber. Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen. It's a here we go from Romano. 30 million plus 5 million in add-ons. And importantly, Liverpool have a buyback clause in that deal as well. So now this has happened. Again, I'd be interested to see where they say play Wednesday, how they do this at all. But you'll start to maybe, possibly, potentially see more around Guehi and other centre halves if that is to develop. But there you go, ladies and gents. It's never a quiet day. It's never a quiet week. And next week, we'll have media matters, transfer shows, all the normal things for you. We're expecting Milos Kerkez to be a Liverpool player by midweek as well. So all your content around that. But on Sunday, the 22nd of June, the Bombers keep on dropping. That was another Daily Red for Anfield Index.